You are listening to the Let's Chat Soon podcast. We are so excited that you're embarking on this journey with us. Let's Chat Soon is a space where we chat all things body, soul, and spirit, and how when you align all three, you unlock a full life. A healthy you is the best gift that you could give to grow the kingdom and to those you love.
Welcome back to the Let's Chat Soon podcast. I'm your host, Alexis.
And I'm Mackenzie, and I feel like every podcast has like a turning point episode where you like really get to know someone. This is it. This is our episode. So if you haven't, first off, if you're new here, please go listen to another episode. Please. This isn't the way you start off. This is not a starter. This is going to be really personal, I guess. Like if you are not a part of the family, i.e. listen to every single episode, you do not have the right to listen to this episode. I'm kidding. We love the views. So if we can get views out of this, we'll take it.
And if you might relate to this, like it's sadly an unfortunate reality of a woman. Well, every human, but
if you read the title, you're probably like, okay, which of them went through a breakup?
I don't even want to say it.
Both of us.
To us.
Use that clip.
Yeah.
That's going to be a clip.
Unfortunately.
Fortunately?
I have no idea.
I'm going to say fortunately. When you swept up my story and were like, me too, I was like, oh, thank God. Like, no offense.
It's so fortunately that we're both going through this. I literally have told all my friends, I'm like, this is the only reason I am living, breathing, not over the toilet puking, throwing up, dying. Those are the same things, but it's truly all I want to do right now, and you're the only thing keeping me alive.
Yeah, pretty much. The fact that we're recording a podcast episode is wild. It's why we're not doing the 12 days of Christmas, because we were not going to be able to pull ourselves together. 1, to do an episode every single day. 2, to do those episodes separate. I don't think we've been apart for more than like 24 hours since we've both like been going through this.
Yeah. I read like, because we were going to do like different topics, and I was reading through the topics, and the first one, it was hope. And I'm like, you think I can talk about hope right now? I'm literally like a hopeless. I feel nothing inside. Besides the point, but
we're going to need a lot of grace with this episode. I truly like don't know where this is going, because it's not like this episode is us just sitting here like bad mouthing our ex-boyfriends. We're not those kind of girls whatsoever. Whoa.
Yeah, it's like reality setting in. It didn't set in until recently for me, and so I feel like I'm like, oh my gosh, like actually going through it. Like this is taking every ounce of my being to like sit down and talk about it, because I feel like also it makes it so real.
Yeah.
But
I've posted the one TikTok. That was like my little,
you're like a little here, this is what I'm going through.
Not Instagram, TikTok.
I'm toying with the idea of like fully just going in. Like I started recording myself. I woke up, started sobbing, came downstairs, talked to my mom, ate a can of tuna, sobbed again, drove over, realized he took all of his stuff out of the garage, sobbed again. And like, this is a great vlog, you guys. We started off real strong with the Vlogmas, and then it just kind of slowly digressed.
Yeah. But also, I don't know about you, I've been through breakups before where I did not let myself feel any emotions at all, where I was just like, okay, let's immediately move on. Let's numb the pain. Let's do XYZ. I was about to be like, let's book a flight. We're doing that. But
I mean, that's part of the healing process. At least it's not like the day after. We're giving it some time to like get through the season, but we're still going on our trip. Don't be fools.
Don't worry. We will be going to Southeast Asia.
Yeah. Immediately.
It's happening. It is happening. We'll eventually also do an episode on that of like taking a hold of your singleness. We're like half there.
Yeah, I'm not there.
Of like, well, like we have a plan.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, half.
No, I have a plan. Yeah, but I'm like, we've talked about like this podcast is literally us going through life with you guys. Like we're not experts on any topic where we're like, learn from us. This is exactly what we did. And this is like just truly a sign of like, oh, now we're going through a breakup. Like you guys are right here with it, seeing every emotion, like literally days after it happened. Like we're sitting here talking about it, and I'm excited to see like how we progress. I feel like this is cool to have a diary of like, oh, this is what we were thinking literally immediately post breakup, and like see how far we are coming.
Especially since one of our most popular episodes is how to know if you're ready for a relationship. Awesome. Us like giving relationship advice, and now here we are kind of in the hot seat. And I think it's also interesting for us because I think we both like kind of the reasons we're in this situation is because we both are ready for a relationship.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't feel as jaded as I have in the past of, like, when I break up with an ex, you kinda said this, like, I'm like, "Oh, richer, hotter, I'm going out, I'm doing all of these things," and I kinda just feel like, "Oh, like, this is where I'm at, I have no hate towards the person, like, all I feel is love. It's so unfortunate, I'm so sad, but I'm not like, 'F you, I'm moving on.'" It's just like, "Okay, now I'm picking up the pieces of my life and starting over essentially," but it's not coming from a place of, like, so much hate that it used to come from when I would go through breakups, which is weird to navigate for myself.
I don't know if I think it's a mixture of both of these weren't toxic breakups whatsoever, and then we're also older. Like,
Yeah.
it just comes
We've
with
been
maturity.
we've been through it a few times.
So if you're younger and you are doing the, "I'm gonna post a million TikToks about them, I'm going to do Lord knows what and get revenge," first off, it's not worth it, but if you're younger, I understand.
Yeah, I've been
I've
there,
been there.
100%. So, like I said before, like, I would come from a place of hatred, and I would immediately block, immediately delete every picture, act like they never existed, get my whole family on board to, like, just trash him in the group chat and go from there. But I now I'm coming from a place of, like, I don't wanna erase him from my life, and I can actually appreciate the time we did spend. Like, I would always have the mindset of, "Why did I get so invested in, like, building a future with this person when obviously it didn't work out?" And I, like, put all my eggs in one basket. I moved my future plans to meet their future plans. But honestly, like, I don't feel like that's a bad thing anymore
Mm-mm.
because I'm dating to find the person I'm gonna spend the rest of my life with, so why wouldn't I build the future with him?
Right.
Why would I wanna look back at my wedding day and be like, "Oh, I gave half myself in the relationship because I was too scared to, like, fully dive in?"
Mhm.
Like, that is not fair to anyone you're dating, and I think I can look at it from, like, more of a place of, like, "Okay, I'm glad we spent so much time together. I can take the things that he taught me, and that, like, I'm learning for myself and try to be grateful for it."
The immediate feeling when I go through a breakup really is the fear of like, okay, well, I gave myself to this person. I did these things. Like, I can't do that with the next. I'm not going to do this with the next. That has literally been playing in my head over and over again. Well,
Mhm.
Mackenzie, don't say this next time. Don't do this next time. Don't be this. You were too much in this way. You were too much in this way. But, like, again, at the end of the day, and of course, we have not met our future people that we're going to end up with. So there's no way to be like, find comfort in the fact of like, you won't be too much for the right person. I can't say that being like, "I'm gonna give you guys advice, you won't be too much for the right person." But, like, I hope to God I'm not.
Yeah. I'm believing, like, at every successful relationship that I can look at in my life, that's never the case.
Mhm.
Like, they are fully dived in, they will do anything for that person. The only thing that matters is love. It doesn't matter if a job comes up or distance is a thing or they wanna do this, like, they find a way to make it work because there's love there, and all that matters is being with that person, and then, like, that's what I wanna strive for, that's what I want, and I'm not gonna, like, lower my standards or change my direction because it hasn't worked out in the past.
Yeah, it's really interesting the way we both are because we both do desire marriage, we are super passionate about wanting kids, and that's, like, become countercultural, which is so weird to approach that conversation, especially with guys of, like, we just talk on a daily basis of, like, "My future wedding day, my future kids, my future whatever," and guys will hear that and be like, "Oh, well, like, we've been together not that long, and she's already talking about these things." And I'm like,
Serious.
I don't like, I'm talking about those things with my friends too. It's not even like, "Oh, I'm talking about this with you because I see you in that place." Like, I have been talking about my future wedding day since I was 12 years old and had a wedding journal.
Yeah.
I've been talking about my future kids since I started writing to them. Like, we talked about that. We've been
Mhm.
writing to our future kids since we were children. Like, these are the desires that are put on our hearts, and now it's seeming like a bad thing in today's society to desire those things.
Yeah. It's exhausting because the same thing plays through my head, like, will I ever be good enough? Like, what is wrong with me? Like, I want these things, they're on my heart. I want a family, I want a future husband, I want future kids, but it's like, it's the reason that these breakups are happening almost, which is just like, "Okay, what's wrong with me?"
Yeah. Yeah, like, and there's, like, nothing else to blame other than that, and it's so hard. Like, it's so hard not to be hard on yourself, being like, "Oh, I'm just too much."
Yeah, yeah. I feel like I don't have any advice on it because 'cause I'm still in that, like, "Ah, like, what did I do wrong?" I've, like, put way too much pressure, but also it's just me expressing how I feel and like what I want in the future. And I don't want to stop that with the next relationship
Mhm.
because I still want those things.
I've had a lot of friends tell me, like, "Well, Mackenzie, you just know exactly what you want, and that's really intimidating."
I've heard that literally from my ex.
And it's so frustrating.
But I'm like, I don't know what I want. Like, what do you mean? Like, I know I don't want like the suburban house, the white picket fence, the like everything's perfect. I love the idea of like having a family but doing whatever. Homeschooling, going to travel the world, live on a yacht, sail the Mediterranean. Like, I want that.
Right.
So I'm like, how did I put too much pressure on it? Because I'm saying I don't want like this perfect, like planned out life because I don't, but like that's how they're taking it. So I'm like, wait, what?
You know, I think our issue might be literally one of the first episodes we did of, like, how so many people, even in, like, girls in their 20s, fit in the box of, like, they wanna be married with kids or they wanna be in the box with, like, "I wanna travel the world and never have that."
Yeah.
I think men are probably in that box too,
Yeah.
where they either wanna travel the world, not have kids, we're like, "Oh, that guy likes to travel, let's go after that," but he might fit in that box of, like, "I don't want kids until I'm 40." Anyways.
Like, hello.
Or they have always known they wanna settle down, they want the white picket fence, and we're at this in-between age, being in our mid-20s now, being like, "Oh, well, the guys who wanted to settle down and have always known that probably married their high school sweethearts."
Yeah. No, it's true. Cause I'm like, I have friends that are married and happy and like, why did it work out for them? But also, I don't want the same things as those friends. And I've been told, like, oh, I have unrealistic expectations. Like, you'll never find both. But if I want both, there has to surely be somebody else out there in a male form that wants both. Also, I think we don't really see that so much in our society. And so it's almost like not attainable, where I think we both have like, we can see a big picture very well.
Mhm.
And so nothing is not attainable for us. I think that's like one of both of our strengths, which I love. And so finding another person that views life that way, I guess is maybe harder, but I don't, like I said, want to settle for anything less.
Yeah, we're a little bit different in that, and I think I am the girl like, you want a guy who, like, wants to travel still, like, I'm happy to see the world, and I want my kids to prioritize that in the future, but I'm also the girl who desires the stay at home more than the travel. Like,
Yeah,
if you told me you could never leave the state or the country again, but you get the, like, stay-at-home life and you get the marriage and kids, I'd be like, "Alright, here you go."
really.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I don't know if I would fully agree with that.
I like, genuinely, I moved to England almost 2 years ago now, and when I moved, I knew I, like, needed to heal. I'm like, "Okay, I need a second." I'd gotten off that, like, 5-year breakup probably, like, 6 or 7 months prior, and video of that's actually going viral now right now, which is crazy, so honestly, maybe this episode might have some of attracting some of those people because I basically said in the video, like, when I was 22, I packed up my life, pulled a holiday, and right after a breakup, just moved abroad to heal, and yes, that looks, like, really good in a reel and, like, looks really pretty, but I moved over there and was like, "Okay, great, traveling." Every single child I sobbed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Every single child I saw, and I am the kind of person who's like, "Okay, I'm single, I want to take advantage of my singleness," because, yeah, I always hear people say of like, "You're so lucky, like, go do those things while you're single," and I'm like, "Okay, I will do those things while I'm single," but I go and travel or I go and do those things, and I'm still, like, sobbing over children.
Yeah, I don't think the idea of doing those things alone inspires me at all.
Mhm.
I want a life partner. Like, I am such a person that wants to build. Like, I don't need the man that has it all together. I want the man that is like, let's do it together type of vibe. And I think that's what inspires me is like building something together and just like having the opportunity to do whatever I want and we want, I guess.
Okay, so literally, like, now what? Like, we're both, like, a week post breakup, and we're saying it wasn't a toxic ending, and I feel like there's so many people who are in this similar boat, especially if we are getting a little bit of an older audience, maybe, who are like, "Okay, I don't really care to hate this person." Like, I think that is the most mature way to handle it. Come back to me in a week. I'll let you know if I'm still thinking that way. I might not be. I've not thought that way a lot of times, but I think the most mature way going forward is like, I don't hate this person. Truly, people are already asking me that. They're like, "Do we hate him? Do we whatever?" It's such an easy thing, and, like, even to my other friends, when they go through a breakup, I'm like, "Okay, we hate him, we whatever, we all this." I think like, a lot of times I'll do that because I don't want my friends going back to their ex, so I'll be like, "Oh, we don't like him. Let's move on."
Yeah, it's the easiest route to take, I think. I think it's easier to be like, "I hate you, goodbye," cut you off completely, cut you out of my life. It's a faster healing process than
Right.
being like, "Wait, but what actually happened?" And, like, "It wasn't horrible, and we still love each other?"
Right.
Question mark.
Right, exactly. Because a lot of times we're not mature enough to, like, put our pride down and be like, "Oh, we just got broken up with." Like, I actually don't need to hate this person. Maybe I can see where they're coming from and be like, "Okay, I actually understand why that had to happen."
Yeah. Like, I can admit my faults almost.
It's disgusting. I
Yeah,
don't
I
wanna do
wanna
it.
puke, like, "Wait, I'm perfect."
I am perfect. You're all flawed. I hate you. No.
Not at all.
I'm glad I'm not famous because I could imagine, like, that just being taken out of context and, like, being sent around. Like, good lord.
Yeah. So, yeah, like, do we stay friends? It's such a loaded
It
question.
is such a loaded question, and I would probably advise any of my friends, no, don't stay friends with an ex. Are
Yeah,
you
of course
crazy?
not. How are you ever gonna move on?
It's so situational.
Yeah, I feel like it is because like I said, I've never been in a relationship where that is the case, and during the breakup, he was like, "I really hope we can be friends," and going through my head is like, the second I see you with a new girl, I'm literally gonna yak, like, I don't wanna see you living happy, healthy without me, like, what do you mean you're not sobbing on the floor every day? But do I want to, like, unfollow all of his friends, like, cut everyone out of my life and do that? Like, no. That's also sending such, like, a just negative message that I don't want sent.
Right. I think when you fully close the door, and I think neither one of us are at the place where we're like, "Oh, yeah, the door is completely closed," like,
Yeah.
whatever else, like, we're completely over it. We are definitely not there. Like, this is so fresh.
I still have a little bit of hope. But that's, like, my hopeless romantic
Yeah,
coming
no,
out.
that entirely
Like,
makes
"Oh, he's
sense.
not gonna get on the plane. He's gonna be sitting there waiting, then rush back into my arms." Yeah, that's so not happening, but
Literally a week ago.
yeah. Mhm.
I'm like, "Run back to" no, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Cool.
Watching them drive away is, like, you can literally feel your heart being actually broken. If they call it a broken heart, it's because you literally feel in your chest being like,
I was, like, passing out.
"Oh,
Like,
no."
literally, I was bent over being like, "My chest physically hurts."
No, I, like, fell to the ground immediately. I begged. I begged it not to happen, like, yeah, I think I had a panic attack. Oh, wait.
I'm only laughing because I did the exact
Oh,
same
no.
thing.
It was like, I was holding myself up the whole conversation, like, as he's presenting the offer to me, and I'm like, "Okay, stay strong, like, cry after, you're fine, you're fine." And then when he was like, "I'm gonna go," I'm like, "Absolutely not." Cue the emotional breakdown. But actually, like, I love the frame of looking at it like, be grateful that you love someone that much that you can feel this amount of pain.
Mhm.
Like, I don't wanna have a boyfriend break up with me and be like, "Oh, great.
Okay, bye.
See you later." Like, that just means the relationship literally meant nothing, and, like, why would I wanna live a life like that?
Right. And I think one thing I've been trying to tell myself too, because I have now been broken up with like 3 times, very similar reasons every single time.
Mhm.
And I feel like most of you guys know, like I've touched on a lot of times that I went through a 5-year-long relationship. That breakup truly like ended me. Like I'm not really sure how I came back from that one still. And I fully after that breakup was like, I'm never loving again. Like that was it for me. I'm good. I'm never gonna let myself receive love again and I'm never gonna love again. And coming off of this one, yes, I could sit here and be like, here we go again. This happened again. Or I could look and be like, okay, I'm actually really proud of myself for like one, being able to love again, two, being able to accept that love again. Like
Mhm.
genuinely, up until meeting him, I did not think I was gonna get married again.
Yeah.
Again.
What?
I've not been married before.
Divorced?
But I did not think that marriage was in the cards for me up until meeting him, and although it sucks of like, okay, yeah, this person is no longer in my life in that way, and he was the person who I thought I was going to marry, it's a miracle in and of itself that I was able to think that again.
Yeah, and I think it because we've had breakups that have wrecked us so much, we already know that we've overcame that and did find love again when we thought it wasn't possible for us, and so it sucks. I know the process, I know it just takes time, even though when someone says that to me, I wanna punch them in the face, but I've already done that, and I know it that's how it goes. And so it's like, all right, I know the steps already. It's just about like getting through them.
It's kinda nice because our brain, like, has taught itself now enough times, which enough times,
Like
that's
Pavlov's dog.
literally, but it's like, "Okay, well, this is a pattern." Like, yes, this hurts and this really sucks, but you're going to be fine, and I think, like, finally having that feeling and, like, knowing that pattern in my brain, like, my brain is now wired to know that I'm gonna be okay.
Mm.
Oh my gosh, it's so nice.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
so
it
nice.
really is. Like,
That's why people say your first heartbreak, like, kills you.
yeah. Oh, I was traumatized. Which I don't get me wrong, I feel like it actually doesn't feel any better. Also coming from the mindset is like the older you get in relationships, I think the more you do think about them being your forever person. So then when it is like cut off and they're not, in some ways it can be a little more traumatizing because you're like, wait, 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 I thought this was the final. I thought this was it for me. And then you're like, I have to start over again. Like that's a little traumatizing, but it's not like I'm paralyzed. I don't know what to do because you just live life, unfortunately.
But it is so hard when you are dating to marry. Like, when you are in this boat being like, "Okay, yeah, I saw them as my husband." What's this like, there's not a solution to that.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, like, I know a lot of you guys are Christians, are dating to marry, have that intention when you're walking through dating. There's not a better solution.
No. Like I said before, like I don't want to lower my standards or what I want out of a relationship. I still want to find the person I'm going to spend the rest of my life with. I don't want to like casually date.
Right, but then all my friends are like, "Well, Mackenzie, you thought you were gonna marry this one, this one, and this one." I'm like,
Good though. Like at least you're finding the good in people and
"I do that too much."
well, yeah, same.
That might be my flaw a little bit,
Well,
actually.
same. But I can honestly say like for the most part, everyone I've dated, like they were good people and they
Right.
served for a season and taught me things that I needed to learn. So
Yeah.
I don't regret any of them at least.
I have an issue, which I wanna, like, fully do a study on this and, like, a biblical study and also just, like, a personality study. I am such a boundaries girl. Like, my ex would kick me. I'd literally go, "Which one?"
Kick you?
No, not actually.
I'm like, wait, no, wait, this is changing course. I haven't heard this story.
Kick me. My 5-year-long relationship would be like, "Okay, Mackenzie, you've such crazy boundaries," and we started dating when we were 17 years old, so obviously marriage was going to happen no time soon for us, so we didn't have to date for quite a while, but he would always get so upset of like, "You have such strict boundaries," because I would hate to have soul ties, physical, emotional, spiritual, like, any type of soul ties with a person who is not my husband, and I think I've been kicked a lot for that because it's like, well, okay, now you're like in your head, you're rushing to marriage. Like you're thinking of marriage too much.
Mm.
You have this expectation for marriage. You're thinking like, oh, I'll do all those things when I'm married, which biblically, honestly, is I feel like in a lot of ways what we're supposed to do. Like it does suck when you have soul ties with these people.
Yeah.
And that can mean like obviously sex, can mean traveling with another person, can mean praying with one another. Like all of big things like that, going home with someone, having someone meet your family. It's like, do we not do that and we don't romanticize dating? Or do we get soul ties and then have to end up having a piece of ourselves tied to 50 different people?
Yeah.
What's the better option?
I truly don't know because even just like the family thing you touched on, like I have a little brother, 12 years old. He got super close with my now ex boyfriend. And it's almost like your whole family has to mourn with you
Yeah.
because when you do bring them in your life, everyone loves them, obviously, as
Mhm.
they should. And so I'm like, that sucks. But also, I feel like I can just like put my hope in being the right guy will almost erase all of that pain
Mhm.
and like fix it,
Yeah.
I hope.
Right.
Because how do you know if he's even the right person if you're not having like an emotional relationship with them?
Right. Right. You can't just be like, okay, I look at his character. Okay, he checks every single box.
Yeah.
Great. All right,
I
let's get
don't
married.
want to do it off a checklist.
Right. Right. No, I need to make sure you fit into my life.
Yeah.
I, in past relationships, was like, okay, I don't want to travel with someone until I'm married. I traveled with I need to start just, like, name dropping because I can't keep saying my ex now.
You're like
That's
X number one, X number two.
yeah, exactly. But I went and traveled with that guy, and it was the worst experience of my life. Like, very soon after that, we broke up because we traveled horribly together.
Oh, that's interesting.
So, like, I want to know those things before I don't know. It's so different.
Yeah, because I I've traveled the most with my last ex. Like, we've done a lot of trips together and, like,
Mhm.
trips now that like, we went to Paris, and I'm like, "Is Paris ruined for me?" Like, I would love to go to Paris again one day, but, like, the first time I saw Paris was with him through
Yeah.
his eyes, and so it's almost like you don't wanna ruin things if they're not gonna be the one, but also when you're dating to marry, you think they're the one. It's not like you're gonna meet the guy and after one date, tie the knot, like,
Mhm.
you have to go through the process, so I'm like, I truly don't know how I'm gonna manage that going forward.
No. I don't think I'll do anything different.
I don't think so either. And
Anytime
hopefully we won't be back at this place.
Right, exactly. I mean, yeah, it sucks. It literally, like, genuinely sucks so much
Yeah.
because that's why every single one of my relationships have pretty much ended because I was ready to move forward and they weren't.
Mhm. Yeah, exactly. Which just sucks.
And I might add, which this might be more than I should share, but I've had the exact same thing happen of, like, in different timelines. Like, my ex who I dated for 5 years, obviously, I didn't put that pressure on immediately. Like, the pressure of, like, marriage and moving forward happened after 5 years, and it also happened after 7 months of just, like,
Mhm.
talking, obviously not fully, like, planning, but just talking about it.
Yeah.
So it's like, "Okay, well, like, you rushed it, you didn't give it enough time." I did in the past.
Right.
Like, I waited 5 years in the past.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, like, what's the magic code? Like, when do you bring it up?
and also, you don't wanna date someone for 2 years and then realize they actually don't want marriage and kids.
Literally, I'm at the point where I'm like, "Y'all, my ovaries are shrinking." Like I said, I know what I want. I'm gonna have to go into this dating world and being like, "Alright, fill out this form first." But, like, ew. My mom's like, "Arranged marriage?"
Literally, no. No, I'm literally sitting here thinking, being like, "What is the code? Like, how do we crack this? Do we need to run some sort of, like, social experiment?" It's like, do we date older?
Yeah.
No. I dated a 34-year-old last year.
I, like, thought that was my problem because I tend to date younger, not by like, it's by accident. And I'm like, "Oh, I've dated, like, one older for, like, a year." But, like, am I attracted to a 35-year-old man? Like, I don't know. I think I'm still 19 in my head, so I'm like, "I'm young and fresh." Like, I need someone who can keep up.
Yeah, dating a 33-year-old was interesting.
Yeah.
He didn't seem 33
Right.
because he acted more immature than me. Anyways,
I feel like that's what it is, it's a maturity level, and that doesn't necessarily come with an age.
but it's also like they can be mature but still not know what they want,
Yeah.
which we're gonna dive into right now. Men who don't know what they want. Okay, not even men who don't know what they want. I think culture is doing this such a disservice, and maybe I'm, like, too much in the world of social media where I'm just seeing a lot of it on social media, but even, like, men don't know what they want out of women and then what they want out of themselves. Like, I I don't know, like, I've had one guy break up with me because I traveled too much, and I had the next break up with me because I was ready to settle down. Literally within the same year, I was living the exact same life for both. Like,
Yeah.
okay.
Like, what do you want from me?
Genuinely, I'm like, "What is the right answer?" And again, this might just be, like, wrong person.
Yeah. I feel like I have to put my hope in that because
What else do you know?
right, like, okay, like, I don't even know what to do with that information, you don't know what you want. I've always came from a stance of, like, you don't really have to know everything as long as you know that that person is your person, and so, like, it kills me when my ex said that that was the reason we're breaking up because, like, why does that matter if you know you wanna figure it out with me? Like, shouldn't I be helping you figure that out? And, like, if I'm the right person, we build the plan together.
I think it's hard when you come into a relationship and you're like, "I want this, this, and this," and they're like, "I don't feel like I have a part in that,"
Yeah.
so to speak. Like, we do come into relationships so sure, being like, "Okay, I want this," and it almost like even though we both, I feel like, come in being like, "No, I'd really just wanna partner with you in something," we come in really hot at the beginning being like, "I want this, I want marriage, I want kids, I want whatever,"
Mhm.
and they're like, "Wait, I don't really know what I want, like, I said I wanted that, but I'm actually not sure."
Yeah, like, I've never thought about it. Do I want that? I think also we're instinctualized, like, as women, we are the ones that bear children, like,
Mhm.
we have that instinct of, like, "I want that." If you wanna be a mother, I feel like it usually starts at a young age because you just know you want that, and maybe men don't necessarily have that. Like, I've heard of men, like, as soon as they get out of a long relationship, the next person they end up marrying, and it wasn't because the last person wasn't good enough or wasn't their person, it's because they just, like, weren't ready, and, like, men will just settle down with the person that they're with at the time that they're ready almost, which is, like, kind of sad.
I've heard that.
But I'm like, "Wait, is that true?" Like,
You just have to stick it around until that one person's ready? Like,
right, like, what? That sucks.
that's so unfair.
Yeah. I don't even know where to go with that because 'cause I'm just like, "Yeah, that sucks." Like, what do we do?
I don't know how to, like, not make it depressing of, like, yeah, literally, like,
Yeah.
men are fine if they don't know what they want. Like, they can still live a perfectly normal life,
Yeah.
but then we're over here with ovaries shrinking.
No, literally. It is the reality though, like, like, we do have an actual timeline of, like, if you want a family, I'm sorry, you really can't have kids when you're 50. Like, we
Mhm.
do have a cutoff, and so this whole I don't know if this is how it was in the olden days of, like, men not being ready until they're older, but I feel like we're seeing that a lot. I don't know if it's just the world I'm in or, like, just the cards I've been dealt, but it's like, okay, it's unfortunate. But also, if that's happening, I think everything happens for a reason, and so they just weren't the one.
Right,
Plain and
exactly.
simple, and I think if something is put on your heart, it's by God, and He's not gonna not let you have that if it's on your heart, and it came from Him, so, like, at the end of the day, you will have everything work out in His plan.
Yeah. We're both sitting here and, like, obviously, this sucks going through this, but I had a friend text me and I told her what I was going through, and all she said was, "Future husband's praying for you really hard."
Mm.
I was like, "Ew," I kind of hated that, but I also loved it.
Yeah, like, I literally am at the point where I'm like, I can't even look at a man, like, disgusting, but it does kind of help, like, having a figure, like, I know I'm not gonna be alone the rest of my life. Like, I might say I'll be the cat lady or, like, the crazy aunt, but, like, deep down, I know that's not what I want and that's not the life I'm going to have, and sometimes it's almost like a fake it till you make it, like, you're just telling yourself what your future's gonna be like, even if you don't fully believe it at the moment.
Moral of the story, we have no idea what we're doing.
Yeah, but that's okay, like, I think that makes it more relatable because I don't wanna get here on a mic and just be like, "Alright, this is what I did, follow my lead."
Mhm.
Like, this is life and this is the messy part of it, and, like, getting to share the messy moments with the people that we talk to every week is kinda cool, and my only hope is that it can be inspiring for people. This isn't an episode where it's like, "Alright, get your notebooks out, like, here's the do's and don'ts." It's kinda like, "Alright, we're just connecting with you guys and, like, sharing our hearts and showing how we feel."
Right, exactly. Because it's really easy to look at someone's life on social media too and be like, "Oh, they're so perfect." Like, I did
Mhm.
the question box at the beginning of this week, and clearly most of the questions in it were like, "You and your boyfriend are so perfect. Like, how'd you meet him? How whatever." And I'm like, "We just broke up."
Yeah.
Like, cool.
Yeah.
Or like, "Your life looks so great and so stable." I'm like, "I'm about to jet set off to Southeast Asia."
Yeah, I'm actually the most unstable I've been all year, but
Yeah.
thank you. Literally, social media is a highlight reel. We can show whatever we want. I never even shared my relationship. It's just like a personal choice that I didn't want to. And I'm like kind of toying with the fact, like, all right, since I didn't share our relationship, do I have the right to share post breakup? But I think my platform has always been about my life. And I don't want to paint a picture that everything's perfect. I never have struggles. Like, I do want to share that. So this is me starting to share it, I guess.
This is one heck of a struggle we're walking through.
Yeah. But like
I
I said in the beginning, I think this will be so cool to look back on and see how much we've grown because it's going to happen. It's not
Mhm.
like we're going to sit in this forever. This is a season, blah, 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 whatever. Ryan heels. Like I'm puking at myself, but it's real, unfortunately.
Right, it is so true. Someday we'll be hopping on this podcast with our husbands.
Yeah.
Hopefully, maybe this means, like, if we're going through a breakup at the same time, we're gonna meet a guy at the same time, and we'll get married at the same time.
Exactly. This is working out.
This is what we're hoping
We're
for.
gaslighting each other, being like, yes.
Pretty much, because honestly, if you get in a relationship before me, I'm gonna kill you.
No, same. I'm going to be like, where is my ride or die? Like, you're not allowed to date him? What?
Yeah, pretty much. Like, that's gonna be horrible.
Yeah. Yeah.
Again, me, like, thinking I was going through this breakup. I'm like, all of my friends are in relationships.
Same.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks for
You're
thinking about
welcome. Maybe like
me.
telepathically I knew. And I was like, all right, let's just.
Speaking of telepathically, guys, I had a brand reach out to me. We're gonna end this on a funny note. I had a brand reach out to me for National Breakup Day, and I fully made a TikTok being like, LOL, that's so funny. Do they know something I don't?
1 month later.
If you were that brand, please reach back out to me. I would love to collab,
Yeah.
and at least make some money off of a
Yeah.
breakup. I mean, might as well.
Listen, we're gonna feel all the feels, but we're also in girl boss mode. Like, I'm not saying I'm not gonna get ripped and tan, maybe go back blonde, do I dare say. Like, I'm still gonna be hot and smart and rich, of course, duh, but, like, I'm gonna allow myself to heal as well.
But I feel like I keep traveling and the men keep getting the wrong idea that I, like, wanna be single forever.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't.
Yeah, it's like you have to put yourself in the room of, like, the same people that want the same things.
Ugh, like, I hate that. I hate that sentence.
Wait, really? Why?
Because I travel.
Oh,
I live a completely different life when I'm single because I'm taking advantage of my singleness than when I am in a relationship.
but you're traveling and want those same things, so why can't there be men out there that are traveling and want those same things?
That's what I'm saying.
I'm just putting my faith in that because I don't wanna sit around and just, like, wait for my knight in shining armor. I can't
Right.
do that.
Right.
Sob.
Exactly. Like, I wanna go out and do things with my life because I'm not waiting around for a guy, but I keep getting kicked to the butt because I keep doing that.
Yeah,
So, like, what's the other option? Sit at home and, like, wait for a guy to show up on my doorstep?
absolutely not.
Honestly, I mean, at this point, I'm like, "God, you better send a message down from heaven being like, 'He's it.' Like, tell me
Well, I know, that's
tell me
the
this man's the
whole
one."
other aspect, like, when if I start dating again, um, yeah, how do you know, like, actually I'm gonna be going back to the episode of, like, the cupcake, I'm writing things down, but also I'm not gonna go off a checklist. So, we're just depending on God to place the man where he needs to be placed, and please no more breakups.
Unfortunately, I said that, like, 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Yep. But anyways, here we are,
Here we are.
and it's okay. We do these things for you guys to be more relatable. Truly, that's what it
Yeah.
is.
I did not wanna sit on a mic because I feel like I'm like, "Oh, well, I don't want to admit that it's over." It's not over, like, I'm fully in denial phase, but like I said, like, I love that we have this and we can talk about it and we can be relatable.
She had no choice but to, like, stick it out through this too because I'm like, "Well, you're in this with me now. Like,
Really?
you've gotta talk about it."
Yeah. Yeah, we if it was just me and, like, everything was fine with you guys, we coulda just done any other episode, but it was like, we need to address also, like, I look like a drowned rat in my pink sweat set that I haven't taken off in 6 days, and so, like, I think you guys woulda caught the vibe. Like, something definitely changed, okay? We're doing great, we're gonna be fine, guys, don't get the wrong message. We'll be fine.
But, like, around the holidays, like, you gotta be kidding me.
Dude, I literally was telling my mom this, I'm like, "Not my favorite time of year." Also, when, like, it's so centered around family and being home and enjoying, I'm like, "I need to be out on the streets, okay? Like, I need to be in the gym, I need to be doing things. I can't be sitting home having Christmas dinner, like,
I'm like, when we sit around and, like, watch cute Christmas movies,
no,
like,
kill me."
if my mother puts on a Hallmark movie, I'm gonna die.
No, my mom was playing her, like, country love playlist, and I'm like, "Do you want me to puke on the floor or do you wanna turn it off?" Like, we're not doing that. I'm not at that phase yet. I can't listen to a sad song, I need, like, hard metal, Avril Lavigne, rock and roll, like, we're not, like, in a hateful way, like I said before, but I
It's
can't.
just something you gotta do.
Yeah.
I've also had, like, so many little Christmas things booked because I was like, "This is my first Christmas in so long being in love. I need to do all the cutie Christmas things with him. We're going to see Christmas lights." Bought tickets to that. Guess who was my date last night to the Christmas lights?
Hey, girl.
So Alexis and I are now dating,
We
so
are officially together.
Mhm.
Inseparable.
Literally, like, last night we were walking up to the Christmas tree holding hands, and I'm, like, filming it, and I'm like,
Yeah.
"LOL, I'm dating my friends."
This is us. You've always said this, and I feel like I've never really had the chance to do that, like, fully, and so this is honestly, like, I'm so sorry, but kind of a cool experience for me. Like, I've fortunately for my friends, never been going through a breakup with one of my closest friends, so, like, thank you.
You're so welcome.
Yeah, yeah. I would totally trade it, but, if I had the choice, I would not be doing this right now.
It's kind of iconic, though. Like,
It is.
truly.
Really. Maybe this just what needed to happen to make the podcast blow up. Not that I would wish that. I would take a healthy relationship over fame. Maybe.
Maybe.
I'm, like, against for that. Like, that's kinda crazy. She'll do anything for fame.
I mean, we've always come back to, even as girls with relationships, being like, okay, community, date your friends, go on trips with your friends, do these things with your friends, like live out your 20s. And you guys probably were rolling your eyes at us being like, oh, well, they have boyfriends. Like they can sit here and be like, live out your 20s all you want. But like they have boyfriends. They've already got the thing they desire. We are now girls who are going to be walking into our mid-20s, desiring the marriage and kids. Like you guys got as full of a mouthful as you could have, that we really desire that from this episode. But we are still now about to walk into a season where we are going to go travel. We are going to go girl boss. We are going to go do all these things, even though our desires are like fully at the top of our list. Our desire is something completely different than that.
Yeah.
Which sucks. But I'm going to say we're doing it for you.
We are. And I'm not going to stop living my life because something bad happened.
Exactly. You can't do that. Lord's plan is far too great.
Yep. Just keep on swimming. Not my Pinterest board being full of like emo quotes like, you got this, girl. I'm in a new era.
Yeah, it's like, think about it. Truly, like, this could be your last time ever being single.
That is so true.
Could be.
Wait, that's kind of sad.
Right? Exactly.
It is
Okay,
a little sad.
that is what I was thinking, which is so rude that I got into a relationship when I did, because I was in the era right before I met my last boyfriend of I'm good. Like, I love singleness.
Yeah.
I was obsessed with my singleness before I met him. Had to go and throw that off. Thank you very much.
Yeah, like, excuse me.
And I was like, this could be my last time ever being single. Like, I'm obsessed with my singleness. I want to live it out the fullest way I can. And I literally do not want a boyfriend.
Yeah. Hey, I like that idea. My sister was telling me she was listening to like a Matthew McConaughey speech or something, and he was like, my mom has had cancer twice and beat it because of denial. She was like, she's the happiest person. Like, you literally almost go through life just like being denial, like, I'm not sad, I'm happy, I love being single.
Right.
Okay.
Tell yourself that. Like, literally take it until you make it. Truly.
Yeah. That's going to be how I'm moving forward.
Yeah. I feel like we can make a series on that, truly, too.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be so cool. Anyways, again, if this was your first episode with us, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I'm so deeply sorry. And we've like made new friends. So if you're one of those and you're listening to this episode,
you're like, whoa, that's a lot.
Gosh, I'm so sorry. Like, that was such an earful. Like, yeah, if you listen to this episode, you're stuck with us.
Yeah. We are.
Hit the subscribe button, follow us on Instagram, because you're locked in with us, and you should honestly stick along for the journey because it's going to be a fun one.
So hopefully can go up from here is all I know.
That's true. Pull ourselves off the floor, make it through the holiday season, and yeah.
Off to Bali.
Off to Bali.
Off to Bali, honestly. All right. Well, cool. Yeah, I would love to hear from you guys. I thrive off of like encouraging notes. Like, I had posted like one sad thing on my TikTok, and I had a friend reach out and be like, I hope you don't think this is weird that I'm seeing this, but like, let's meet up this week. And I'm like, this is exactly what I need. And like, honestly, that's why I post my life, because I see the power and the positivity from social media, and I'm choosing to keep believing that that's positive, and I'm going to use it in that way. I'm not going to use it in a negative way. So send me a message. Your girl needs it.
We sit and give advice. Now we're asking you for some. So drop your best piece of breakup advice in the comments below. It'll be very appreciated. But we will talk to you guys next week, which I think will be on Christmas Eve. Possibly. We will be shifting up the episode. Don't worry. We won't be giving you guys a depressing episode the day before Christmas. No. We won't do that to you. But we love you guys so much.
Let's chat soon.
Bye.
Bye.